Excuse me.
The fuck happened?
I
Anywho,
sneeze.
yeah, sneezing. Yeah, that was totally sneezing. Anywho, hello, Lily here, and I'm going to be reacting to this guy's video. He did give me permission, so cope seed mold. Aggression already at the start. Anywho, this guy says it is his opinion, and it's
Also, what
right.
you'd rate as your
I can't really change his mind on like what he likes or whatever, but I can like influence it, you know. He's gonna be starting from Flame Charm to Gale Breath to Thunder Call to Ice and then Shadow. Alright, Alvin, you ready? Albenis? Albenis, you there?
Okay.
Okay. So, which mantra do you like the most for Flame Charm?
Flame charm.
Yeah. Hmm?
Ash Lamb, cause it's brain dead and easy to land, despite being very easy to parry.
Hmm.
But I don't usually go Ash Lamb anymore, as it is not in the meta anymore, and people have more developed minds and they know how to press the F key now.
Yeah, like, have you seen the old meta where it's just like, oh, you can do this move, right? And then it can catch them off guard, and that deals a lot of damage. But now, it's just like, oh, I've fought this thing before several times already, you know? And it's like, I'm used to it. So, really, what's the deal? This guy says his is Fireblade. Now, Fireblade is objectively a good mantra, right? Deals a lot of posture, deals decent damage, sets your enemy on fire, you know, all that good stuff. But the problem is, Fireblade with Flourish move stacking, well, you know, as the current meta, I am kind of a meta slave because Flourish move stacking is just really good. Pair up a medium, your fists, or a heavy weapon with like a finishes ring, and you've got yourself like really high damaging combos. And it is actually combos that they can't actually parry out of it because, you know, Flourish move stacking. Woohoo. The reason why I don't really like Fireblade is because, well, this shit is really easy to parry, you know. Like compared to something like Fireforge, which is sure it's an auto parry, but it's more of like a tool for mix-up, which deals a lot of damage. And Alvin did say Hell's Partisan helps a lot with this, because Hell's Partisan is fucking stupid, and it deals a lot of damage. And this Divine Spear as well, yeah. Warding Radiance also helps this. And I'm pretty sure you can do like an M1 and then immediately faint for mix up, because Fireforge deals a lot of posture for some reason if you hit all three. Like, even though they're just small daggers, they just deal a lot of damage. The problem with Fireforge is that you don't actually set your opponents afire. Maybe that's a bug for now. Or maybe it is what it is, you know.
its initial slashes are blockable, along with the final blow, and as a result I'd rather just pick something more quick and reliable for combos.
Yeah. Fireblade is good for mix-up because high posture damage, decent damage, you know. The problem with Rising Flame is that with the current meta of Flourish move stacking, it's actually really bad because it doesn't, what do you call this? It doesn't fling your opponent up with you. Rather, it just makes them move forward and feels like nothing ever happened, you know?
Why Fireblade is my favourite flame charm mantra. Next up, Gale Breath. Gale Punch is a pretty easy pick for me. You see, with Astral Wind or Gale Lunge, it's just way too easily predictable. Having an AoE attack that people just run into half the time is very solid in my opinion. And it has a card upgrade that sucks in your opponent closer to you. As for Thunder...
Now, the problem with Gale Punch is that it doesn't really apply actual stun, you know, because if you do Gale Punch, people can actually hit you out of it, and that's not a bug, it's an actual thing, because it doesn't apply true stun, rather it's like micro stun, which slows your opponent down and technically is a hit, but it doesn't apply like actual stun. It doesn't make your opponents do weak block. The problem with that is that Gale Punch is good, sure, but you can get hit out of it. It deals quite a lot of damage, and it deals quite a lot of posture. For me, I would say I'd like something like Rising Wind and Wind Carve. What about you, Alvin?
That was pretty good. But I think Gale Lunge is the best. Gale Lunge is because good for chasing people, somewhat good at running away, and I think you can flourish move stack with
Yeah, you can. Like, the hitbox for Gale Lunge is fucking massive. Like, you can parry it from 30 studs away, and it's just fucking
Yeah,
stupid.
and it's easy to get as it's a 0-star mantra.
Yeah, it's a 0-star mantra. Rising Wind is really good because of the new talent buff, Reverse Gale Kick. This is basically guaranteed damage, by the way. They can't roll out of this, they can't block during this, they can't parry during it. You know, they just get damaged. Oh, excuse me. But the problem for Rising Wind is that it's easily parryable. They can roll through it. You know, sometimes they don't actually get hit with you. But if it does hit, it deals quite a lot of damage. And it's kind of stupid because this is basically a hit grab.
Cool. I had a pretty hard time deciding which one to pick. You see, Thunder has a lot of good mantras in my opinion. Lightning Blade, like Fire Blade, is a really solid mantra, but I had to go with Grand Javelin. It's such a good get out of jail free card.
What do you think of that, Alvin?
Grand Jav is really broken as you can add a move stack combo with it. Just randomly throw it, do like 3 damage, or just cook at them when they're running at you. Either way, it's fun. So I agree with him. Grand Jav is pretty good of a learning match.
What do you think about the other matches, though?
Lightning Blade is pretty good, I guess. Lightning Beam goes well with Grand Jav, but it consumes a lot of effort, so it might not be too valuable. As unless you have really good aim. If you have
Yeah.
really good aim, then it's viable.
Like, you can do Grand Jav into Lightning Stream, not Lightning Stream, Lightning Beam. Technically not true because your opponents can M2 mid-air, but I've never really seen anyone M2 the damn thing, you know? Like how I can do Grand Jav and immediately do Lightning Beam. And people just take it for some reason, so I'll just, you know, take it as well. But for me, I would say it's Jolt Grab. Because, you know how you can modify mantras with sparks? Yeah. Jolt Grab has a spark for Magnet Spark, and it basically makes it so that you teleport to your opponent. It's this. Sorry, I'm stealing footage here, but, well, I mean, I can't really get on game right now because, yeah, it's that. That's what it looks like. You put your hand down, and then you teleport to your opponent while striking Thunder. That's what it looks like. And you can also increase that range a
Right,
little
hello.
bit.
Stay.
Now, the problem with Jolt Grab is that it's easy to parry, but if they do miss it, they get hit and it deals quite a lot of damage. And with the electrifying talents, which is authority, intimidation, resolve, crusher, you can actually make it so that it's a free mix-up tool, where if you hit them with it, you basically force them into either parrying something, blocking something, and you'll get a guard break. You basically condition them with a jolt grab. You can mantra cancel it, and the effects still apply, meaning you can jolt grab, mantra cancel, and then lightning blade that usually catches people off guard. This is also really strong with flourish move stacking without magnet spark, because jolt grab is kind of stupid, and that actually applies true stun. Here, like where he grabs you, right? Grabs you, that throws you. You see how the guy was on the ground before he got flung backwards? That's a thing. And you can't parry and block during that, so meaning if you have like 4 people with you, they can like keep jolt grabbing the opponent to death.
You see, Thunder.
But who has friends in Deepwoken? Who has friends in Deepwoken? No one. Okay, well Alvin had to leave, but it's okay. Now, Thunder Call is pretty good because of the mantras it has. There's a lot of really good combat mantras. But the problem with Grand Javelin is that it's really easy to just like predict. I mean, sure, you can mantra cancel immediately, right, to do a mix-up and then either get a block break, or like the problem with Grand Javelin is that it's kind of okay. The reason why it's a bit bad is because people can just M2 ragdolls, and apparently there is a spark makes it so that when you do ragdoll cancel, it electrifies you, and not electrifies you, electrocutes you, and then applies stun, a little bit of micro stun, But I've never really gotten to use that, so Grand Javelin is kind of bad. Very easy to dodge, very easy to block, very easy to parry. It's a big projectile coming at a fast speed in a fast-paced game. Sure, that sounds like it's good, but it's easily avoidable. So,
It has a lot of good mantras in my opinion. Lightning Blade, like Fire Blade, is a really solid mantra, but I had to go with Grand Javelin. It's such a good get out of jail free card.
Yeah, sometimes people just don't really... Sometimes people just don't really do anything about it, and they just get hit by it.
Can genuinely be deadly and a lifesaver in some situations.
It is.
It's as simple as that. Frost Draw, I also had a pretty hard time deciding. I feel like Ice Eruption can catch some people off guard.
It can.
I think Ice Beam.
It also deals a shitload of posture.
Can do that better, especially when it has 9 fucking Stratus stones on it and dazes you harder than your fucking dad hitting you with his belt. Shadow Cast.
Now the issue with Frost Draw is that it's kind of a slow attunement. Ironically, it slows people, but it's also kind of slow. The problem with it is that there is a fucking path. Right, there is a path called crystallization where you don't slow people, but the crystal, you apply crystals on people and it deals a lot of damage. And for me, I would say the best mantra for Frost Draw would be this, because it's really good in mix-up situations, because you can do Ice Lance, you can immediately what do you call this? You can immediately mantra cancel it and it would still apply like the spear on you, right? And then you can hit him with an M1 or something to give them posture because they can't parry immediately. They added like a fucking massive cooldown on it. Not only that, you also can get this talent right here, or is it? There it is. This talent, this is really strong with crystallization. It is unfortunately a rare talent, which kind of sucks. But if you do get a bit of luck here and there while progressing and killing people, you will most likely get this, and then it will be very good because Ice Lance applies quite a lot of crystallizations. Not only that, it explodes, and the explosion from Shatter Spear also helps it. It is easy to parry because it's kind of like Gale Launch, where yeah, it's very easy to like just parry or dodge it mid like close quarters because the startup is actually a bit slow. But
I really do not like, so let's make this quick and pick Shadebringer. Even though it's pretty predictable and parryable, you can add a Spring Spark to lunge forward when using the move, or a Multiplying Spark that will add more slashes. Finally, for attunement list, I chose Rapid Slashes. Even though this is limited to light weapon only, there were just so many options for different types.
Now, he did say Shadebringer is really easy to parry, which is correct. This is objectively a pretty bad move. It's essentially a slower D-Blade, which is Dark Blade over here. And it sucks because the Multiplying Spark actually sucks. Because if you parry the first hit, the mantra actually doesn't get cancelled, which means you'll be stunned during the entire duration. And the enemy can hit you twice during the animation, and that gets them a flourish, which is, the flourish move stack meta, and you lose like, what, 30 to 50% of your health. And it's actually, it is good. It deals quite a lot of posture, it steals a bit of ether, and the Spring Spark is really good because, well, you lunge forward and it's good for catching people. But it is an auto parry, and that's what makes it bad, because if you parry it once, you can actually hit them during the animation and they can't hit you. I would say, in my opinion, Shadow Gun is absolutely terrible now. I would say it's either Eruption or what do I call this? Roar. Because the Shadow Roar is actually really good. The reason why this is good is because it's like rapid punches in a way, but it doesn't move you forward. It steals ether, it deals quite a bit of damage here and there. It is parryable, it is really easy to parry, but you can cancel it in the middle of the animation, and that doesn't get you in trouble. Shadow Eruption, actually no. I'd say Rising Shadow or Shadow Roar is way better than Shadebringer.
Types of builds, different situations. But for me, as a person who plays quite a bit of light, this is a real damage dealer when upgraded. Topping itself off with a quick teleport, making you nearly unpredictable when used correctly. So yeah.
That is correct. Rapid Slashes deals a lot of damage, and especially if you have Fist or Rapier, which means you can deal like absurd amount of damage during it. The problem with attunementless mantras is that it's usually just one hit, and it's very easy to predict and parry or block or dodge because, well, it's mostly slow. Hold on. Physical mantras. They don't have gifts for these yet. So for me, I would say Rapid Punches is a good mantra. Even though it is an auto parry, just like Shadebringer, you can actually cancel in the middle of it, which means you can hit your opponents like what 3 times and then either do an M1 or a critical, and that usually catches people off guard. Because during this meta, the Flourish move stack meta, the king of the game is usually the guy who can mix his opponent hard, get a lot of hits in, maybe some stray moveset flourishes here and there, you know. Like imagine if he M1s rapid punches, Mantra cancel M1 into something like exhaustion strike or glare, and that's really good because it deals well. It helps him uh continue his combo because glare is essentially just a free combo starter. Sometimes, you know, it's parryable. He can do either strong left, exhaustion strike, and all that, or he can do either the weapon mantras, which is Master's Flourish, Pressure Blast. No, Pressure Blast, Boost Stack Flourish is not true. I forgot. Rapid Slashes. The reason why uh, I talk about the meta is because I'm talking here about objectiveness, right? Like, when it comes to what's the best of the best, I would say this is mostly, in my opinion, you know, what I think is the best. And for me, those are the best. Like Fireforge for Flame, Rising Wind for Gale, Icelands for Frostdraw. I mean, Ice Beam is really good, but it's also an auto parry, just like Shadebringer, and I'm pretty sure you cannot cancel it. It cannot mantra cancel during the animation, so well, it's a free damage, you know, and free damage usually nets in a move stack flourish, which is 30 to 50% of your health, because everyone in this fucking day and age is running the same build: 35 fortitude, 25 strength, 15 agile, 25 willpower, no, 25 charisma, 20 willpower, 100 weapon, like 80 to 90 attunement. I mean, sure, people will probably go ghost or something, but you know, that's basically the gist of how the meta runs now. It's like, oh, whoever is the tankiest wins because they can win due to exoskeleton, and that usually they win usually because of flourish move stacking and mantra canceling, which controls the flow of the game. And you know, anyways, thank you for watching. This is my reaction to his video. Sure, it is opinionated. His video is opinionated, but mine covers, well, mine does react to him a bit and covers like when it comes to the actual gameplay, you know.
Right, hello. Does it decently?
The problem with rapid
Oh, definitely.
slashes is that it's sure it's a bit easy to dodge, it's a bit easy to parry. The blocking it is actually a good idea because it doesn't really deal a lot of posture. It usually only deals like 20 to 30%, which is really good because daggers don't really deal a lot of posture unless you let them do it. Just like with fist or rapier. Actually, no, fists, they can just block break you and then do rapid slashes. But that's not really true. Anywho, thank you for coming. This is what my thoughts are on the video when it comes to actually objectively, but you know. This is also my opinion with a bit of it is subjective a bit, but it's also objective, I guess you could say. I don't know, I don't speak English. Thank you for watching, and I ran out of content.